Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's On The Social. This is a show where you take control and you send us in questions for us to answer. Now, as you know, Graham used to host this show. He's so caught up at the moment with the Thames Ironworks football team that he can't really get to do it each week. So for the time being, I'm stepping in, I'm taking over. So bear with me. I'll try to be as good as the big man. But look, as the great man said, let's dive straight into these questions. I'm going to start off with a couple from Facebook. We didn't get many on Facebook, so I'm just going to quickly go through them. First off, Alan Saunders. Should we be relegated? How much blame should apportion to the fact that we was away for the first 3 games? I don't really think you can... It's not a great start being away from home for the first 3 games, but they was all winnable games, barring Man United. There's still plenty of games to play in the season, and we're at home now. We don't leave London for the next 8 weeks. 5 home games and 2 away games against Chelsea and Arsenal. So, you know, our next 2 games are massive. Burnley at home Saturday and Southampton as well after a little break. So that's that one. Let's move on. Matt Hawkins. Why are West Ham so unlucky? I wish I knew, mate. I really wish I knew. We don't seem to be the luckiest club in the world. Everything seems to go against us at times, but you know, let's just hope, fingers crossed, that it starts to turn round. Stuart Neighbour, if the board listens to the fans and spends money in the summer, what quality of players, in your view, would be needed to stop the board has no ambition argument? I think there needs to be a mass clear out. As long as we're still a Premier League club, which I'm confident we will be. Also depends on the manager. Will Moyes still be there? Who knows? But the players we need, where do you start? We do need some quality players, and as we know, the board needs to spend big in the summer. I'd like to see us going for Dendoncker that we was linked with in the summer. I think he's an exciting player. I think him to link up with Arnautovic and Lanzini. I'd like to see us keep Hernandez and maybe buy another striker, probably another 2 strikers, because I can see Carroll leaving in the summer. But yeah, I mean, it's about building from the back forward. So there's a lot got to be done in the summer. Dennis Warwick, this is a long one. Nicky, Ryan. I would like to ask that the fan groups get together and stop the infighting and unite against the board. Sullivan and Gold have divided us. They have been very clever in the way they have gone about it, and now we hear they are going to mark the passing of Bobby Moore at the Burnley game. Very clever. They know they have no control outside the stadium, and they know it could get a bit nasty inside. So they have used the passing of the great man as a shield to diffuse any protest inside the stadium. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. I think they've always planned the Burnley game to be the marking of Bobby Moore's passing 25 years ago. But as for groups uniting, as you know, I think there's a lot of groups been split over what's happened over recent weeks, especially the last few days. I think we just need to get in that stadium, and as we always do, get behind the players. You know, it's a massive game on Saturday against Burnley, and I'm hoping that people that are still going to march, I think the people that are not marching need to respect the people that are marching, and I think the people that are marching need to respect the people that are not marching. And let's hope that it goes off, no trouble, and we can all go in the stadium after and hopefully see us pick up 3 massive points. Last one on Facebook, Leonie Berlas, sorry if I said that wrong. I hope Dan said sorry for hurting poor Nicky. If you ain't seen it, just as they started filming post-match point, Dan sat down and he pulled his chair forward and it went right on Nicky's big toe. He rang me after and told me about it, and me and Scott, and we was laughing in the way in the car on the way home from Swansea. And if you watch the video...
Oh, what happened?
He's fucking done that.
Oh, sorry.
He's done that to me earlier. He's run my foot over, crashed my knee.
Oh, mate.
Dan's determined.
That went right through.
Oh, mate.
So that's it for Facebook. Thank you for Facebook. Right, now I'm going to quickly go through the Twitter, because there's quite a few on here. This is from Jason Ing, at Jason Ing. You've mentioned that Brady can't speak about the financial side of transfer. However, she is responsible for the aspect relating to the stadium. Where the stadium naming rights and stadium capacity being increased to 60,000 discussed. Both are failures at her door. Yes, they was discussed. The club can't expand the stadium at the moment because of E20 and Newham Council. They can't get permission. I don't know why. Maybe there's someone behind the scenes stopping West Ham from doing it. But yeah, as for the name and the stadium rights, I know they are looking into deals. So hopefully, you know, next season that might be something that generates a bit more money for the club. But once again, it's down to E20 and Newham Council. There's a lot of things. I mean, yes, the club and Brady will get the blame for that, but some of it is out of their hands. So let's move on. WHU_Mike says, do you guys believe there's a genuine risk of violence to people going to the march on the 10th? In the aftermath of the threats of violence circling around the last few days, fair few people are worried about the safety of kids present at the march. Listen, on this, I don't personally think there'll be any violence. I think there was a lot said in the heat of the moment, and you know, I think people should march quietly. I just hope the people that are now taking over it have got the policing right and the stewarding right, and it all goes. I think people, if they want to march for the reasons they've got, then they should be able to march, and I think that, like I said, people will respect them. I can't see there being any violence, and listen, that's the last thing we want. Moving on, at Zach Johnson 2000, what actions should be taken to put our season back on track and getting the results we're supposed to be getting? My answer to that would, players need to step up. Leaders. We need. We obviously know that Noble and Collins are leaders, but we need other players to start stepping up. Zabaleta, he's a leader. You know, he's Man City captain, Premiership winner. We've got Evra now. You know, it's about players stepping up and fighting for each other, because I didn't see no fight on the pitch on Saturday, and it was hard to watch being there. But listen, the boys have got a week now to pick it up, turn up against Burnley, and hopefully we get a massive 3 points. Moving on, at Big Trev 1981, if you had to choose one player to bring back from these players, who would it be? Savio, Titi Kamara, Mido, or Gary Stroder? That's a name I know for years. Well, Savio didn't score, Titi Kamara didn't score, and Mido didn't score for West Ham. So I don't think we need them, because we need goals. But Gary Stroder we could do with. He was a centre back. So yeah, I think maybe I'll probably pick him, because we're lacking centre backs at the moment. So move on. I like that question. At Big Trev 1981 again, brown sauce or red sauce? Red sauce, mate. Red sauce all day long. I don't really like brown sauce. Red sauce. I like these questions. Right. At Collison_Bob, why can't we keep our players motivated? Is it too easy to underachieve at West Ham for them? Low or no expectations from the club? Is it a symptom of the Premier League that the only thing that matters is to stay in and keep raking the cash in? I don't understand why football players can't get motivated, not only for West Ham, but they're in a position that people that we've dreamed of as kids, you know, we never have the opportunity to pull on our team's colours and represent our club. So I don't know why they can't get motivated. I think that comes down to, once again, leaders, captain Mark Noble, the manager. I mean, Stuart Pearce is in there. I mean, I don't know why the players don't look motivated, but yeah, I mean, I hope it's more than just staying in the Premier League. You know, I want our club to have a bit more ambition than that, but at the moment, staying in the Premier League is a massive thing, so we need to. Moving on, at Sarif I think that is, he's called Sarif the Bastard. Do you think the club selling players at the rate they have been is the owners planning for relegation this season? I would hope not. I think the IU deal was a good deal, but it came at the wrong end of the window. It didn't give us enough time to replace him properly. And obviously Jose Font leaving after the transfer window shut to go to China, especially after losing 2 centre-backs and Winston Reid going down, was a massive gamble. But I still think we've got the squad there, fully fit. We've still got the squad there to stay up. But yeah, it's a good question. I like that. Another one. At Enigma UK _Mike. Do you know if it's a possibility to film future meetings with Brady, stroke board, like a live stream or something? We would love to, mate, but they won't. They'll never do it. Maybe for legal reasons, I don't know, just in case something they say that shouldn't be said gets out. I don't know, but we would love to film it, love to record it, but I don't think that's going to happen. But you never know, maybe they might be up for doing sort of like a forum or something live or something, I don't know, but it'll be good. It'll be good because I think a lot of people think we lie about things that come out of the meetings, but believe me, yeah, I'd love for it to be live, mate. At Alf Gasparo, deluded as it may sound, I often feel that I could go into our dressing room and tell the lads exactly what they need to do to win games and put on a great performance for the fans. If you had the chance, what would you tell them to do and how to play, set up, etc.? Well, let's go on Saturday's game. I mean, I would, if I was the manager coming in at half time, you'd give them a good bollocking because they deserved it. Because no one out there, apart from probably, I'd say Declan Rice, but Declan Rice was at fault for the second goal. Yeah, I mean, there's two types of managers. I mean, there's the manager that likes to talk, and there's a manager that likes to scream and shout and holler. Me personally, I think I'd be a talker sometimes. I think you'd have to mix it up a bit. But yeah, I mean, you'd always tell your players to go out there, play for the fans, play for yourself, because a manager can only do so much. Once they cross that white line, the players' responsibility, and that's where a captain comes in. And Mark Noble is vocal, and you know, it's an hard question to ask because you have to be put in that situation. But yeah, no, it's a good question. I like that. At Big Trev 1981 again, who would win a fight, Big Sam Allardyce or David Moyes? I'd have to go for Big Sam, but I think David Moyes got a little naughty streak in him, so I think it could be a long drawn out fight. But I'd have to go for Big Sam because he's got a big head, and if he lands one on Moyes with that nut, Moyes is going down. Right, at Leon Elliott 96, if David Moyes doesn't get an extended contract past this season, who would you like to see come in as manager? Personally, I mean, I'd like to see Moyes stay on. I think he's done a good job. I'd like to see him see what he could do in the transfer window as long as they back him this time. But if he don't go, I mean, Marco Silva is obviously a free agent now, so it wouldn't cost us nothing. He's a good manager. He was unfortunate at Watford, but Everton are rumoured with him as well. Could we be ambitious and try to get someone in like Mancini to prize him away? Going to cost money though. Angelotti, I don't think it's ever going to come to West Ham. What if Arsene Wenger left Arsenal? Would we take him? Personally, I would. I think he's outgrown Arsenal. I think he could do a good job at our club. So you never know. There's some good managers out there, but listen, Moisey at the moment is still our manager, so you never know. He could stay on. Moving on. At 1M Rano, I think that's right. Is it acceptable that a club like ours is run like a National League side with a bit of glamour being in the Premier League, as I can't see what we are actually good at apart from fans turning up through thick and thin? What else? Yeah, the thing is, the fans, you can't question the fans. We're loyal. You know, even on Saturday, for all the weather, we still went up there. It was sold out. Unbelievable support, even at 3-0 down, 4-0 down. You know, I know a few people walked out, but listen, we had a long journey to go home. Our club is run a bit like a joke sometimes, and I'm hoping that that does change. Whether it does, I mean, I don't know, but hopefully over the next few months, mate, it will change. Quickly moving on, at Clive WHU17, as we've been lied to by the board for the last 7 years, what makes you think they are being genuine this time? My problem is that I don't believe a word Brady says anymore. And yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, we've stated in these meetings that it's hard to believe what they say. But, you know, you've got to take their word for it. It's hard. The thing is, you want to believe them, but you've always got that bit of doubt in your mind. And I'm hoping that they prove us right. You know, I hope that they prove us wrong, and they do put their money where their mouth is and back the manager in the summer, and they make the change at the club. At Collinson_Bob, just read Moyes' article in the Telegraph. Typically honest and unflinching, you can't guarantee a result, but if players aren't up for it Saturday, you've got to think they're already talking to their agents about an exit this summer. Sullivan, it's time to splash the cash. Yes, Sullivan, it is time to splash the cash. And look, I'd hate to think that our players have had their heads turned and they're not turning up to play. But I think we've got winners in that change room. They just need to start stepping up. And some of the other players like Lanzini need to start getting hold of the ball and taking control of games. And Arnautovic has been doing well. He needs more support. We can't just rely on him. Moving on, at Joe90 Halford, why have you bottled the march? I think I had this discussion with Joe last night. We didn't bottle the march. We believed that the points that we was fighting for have been addressed, and they're willing to work with the fan groups. So we haven't bottled the march. I mean, people are still going on the march. I want change. Everyone wants change. I just feel that, you know, I agree that it wasn't right to march for the reasons. If I was marching for Balled Out, I'd be there on Saturday, but they wasn't the reasons I was marching for, because, like it or not, the Balled are not going nowhere, and that's been put across to us by Brady and everyone at the club. They're not going nowhere, so it's about trying to work with them now to make West Ham a better place. At Big Drift, he's getting about, at Big Trev 1981 again. Have you ever farted during sex? It's too negative, so I thought I would lighten the mood. To be honest, mate, I don't think I have, and if I have, I ain't meant to, but it's going to be playing on my mind now. So, at Big Trev, you're in my head, mate, and I'll be squeezing it in, mate. Don't worry about that. I love these questions. Right, at GH90WHU, Greg Hobbs, Thames Ironworks player. Are we on the verge of being another Sunderland or a Portsmouth? Going down is not a thing I'll take lightly. However, the board seem to not care about it. Selling players to rivals, do they have a vendetta on ruining us? I don't think they have a vendetta on ruining us, Greg. I think, especially David Gold, they want the best for West Ham. They had a bit of ambition. It hasn't gone right, mate. We know that. Their promises haven't come off. World-class team, world-class stadium. We ain't seen none. But it's about now working around, and I don't think we'll ever be another Sunderland or Portsmouth, if I'm honest. So it's selling players to rivals is Swansea with IU. It wasn't the best decision, and it proved it on Saturday. But I'm hoping, mate, that they haven't got a vendetta on ruining us. I really hope they haven't. Moving on now. At 1M Rano again. Do you think David Gold has much of a say in anything at the club? I just can't see what he actually does is if Brady and the midget do all the affairs. I think he's obviously got a big say in the club, but I think he sort of stays out of certain things. Listen, we know he's got a social media account, and sometimes he tweets the wrong things at the wrong time. But yeah, you know, he's a big percentage holder in the club. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it for that one. At Jack_Hobson12, what is your favourite away ground? Thought I'd give you a different question to the usual stuff. I've got quite a few. I like the Emirates. I like going Tottenham away for obvious reasons. I like the Etihad. I like going up there. I think the City fans are good. We have a bit of banter with them. You go, Anfield's a great ground. I mean, I've been to the Den. I've been to quite a few grounds, but yeah, I'd probably say Spurs. I love going Spurs away. It's one of my favourite away days. Let's move on. At Andy88WHU, do you feel the lack of unity between fans, the contempt towards the board, and the whole pandemonium surrounding the club is to blame for the poor performance on the pitch, or is it just poor management and lack of effort from the players? Yes, I think it's poor management and lack of effort for the players. But not only that, I think they've probably seen all the social media stuff, and you know, they see what we do on our channel, fan cams and things like that. And I think it's good that the players hear these things. But obviously, the march and everything's not been good. I mean, we was told at the meeting last week that David Moyes is sort of don't want the march to happen and things like that. And he says it's affecting the team, and which I don't believe. I mean, the players crossed that white line and they've got a job to do. So, but as I said, we need to get behind these players week in, week out as we do. Moving on now to the final few. At 90s_team, if you could have one thing fixed about the club right now, what would it be? Playing squad. I'd love loads of new players to come in, and plus the board. You know, if I could have them changed now, I would. I'd have them gone, and you know, that's there's two things, but out of the two at the moment, it'd be playing squad. Right. At Collinson_Bob. Last question to the people who want to sack the board. Sorry, as the only people who can sack the board are the owners. Who are the board? So this isn't likely to happen. Who do you replace them with? Do you know any extremely rich people looking to buy a football club? Karen Brady did actually say this in the meeting, that people keep saying balled out. We know they're not going nowhere. But she did say, we've not had no offers. One question I did put to her was, yes, Sullivan and Gold hold a higher percentage of the club, but if a real investor wanted to invest and buy some of them shares and pump a load, would they be interested? And she said, why not? Of course they would. They want what's best for West Ham, so you never know. You never know, there could be some investment in the future, but fingers crossed, eh? Let's move on now. Right. This is from at the Real West Ham 1. I think this is the last question. You still promoting this march after posts like this? And there's a picture of something that Andy Swallow has put up. Do you acknowledge if you do and people are hurt, you have blood on your hands? And are you brave enough to condemn Andy and Mickey after this kind of behaviour? This bloke who I've just mentioned, he's got a fake account. He won't come out. I'll answer his question though. No, we're not promoting the march because we've obviously agreed with the other groups, well, that we're not going to obviously do the march because we feel that the reasons we've put towards the club have been met. Do you acknowledge if you do and people get hurt, you have blood in your hands? I'll be honest, mate, I think that's out of order to put that on us. I spoke to you on Twitter last night, and as I said, there was a lot of groups promoting the Real West Ham Fan Action group. We was one of the last ones to do it. The West Ham Way had them on the radio show. Irons United, I think, had them on their channel, and I think there's been a few other channels. Knees Up Mother Brand done an article with them and interviewed them. So, look, we're not the only one promoting it, but you seem to be sort of picking on us a bit because, as you said, we're one of the biggest channels. Are you brave enough to condemn Andy and Mickey? I spoke to them both today. Spoke to Andy about an hour before I started recording this. And then I said to Andy, I said, obviously, you can't go around doing threats like that because it comes across really, really bad and people get the wrong idea. And he's admitted it. He's held his hands up, and you will see an apology from Andy. He's got it wrong. It was heat of the moment. He's not used to social media and people attacking him left, right and centre. And we went through it as well. But, you know, we know a bit about social media, so we know when not to say things and that. But Andy, and he is going to apologise. And he admits he's got things wrong. It was a heat of the moment. So, look, I hope that answers your question, mate. And yeah, that's it for all the questions. Look, as I said, I'm going to be doing on the social now for a little while. So this was the first show. Give me your feedback. Let me know your thoughts on how I've done first show. Be kind, because I've had some proper negative comments the last few days. But yeah, I'm going to try to do this, put the questions out on Sunday and try to film this every Monday. And hopefully we can get this show going again. So give me your feedback, give me your thoughts on any answers to the questions, give me your thoughts on the questions, your answers and all that. Don't forget, keep subscribing. Thank you so much for watching this, my first show. So yeah, come on you irons.